Hey everybody, and welcome to the Better at Beach YouTube channel. My name is Mark Burrick, and today we are going to open and test the OVR Jump. This is a device that measures your vertical jump. It uses lasers and time to do that. So we're gonna learn everything about it as we open it. You're gonna be with us the whole way, and we're gonna see if a bunch of former and current AVP pros can jump high. Roll the credits. All right, so what you see here is what OVR Jump sent us, and we're gonna be able to use it with our campers and our class members. We also have a full workout program online where we have people measure their verticals, but they're using sticks and Post-it notes and drawing chalk lines on the side of their house. We wanna be able to give our players something that they can get accurate measurements for their vertical jump and their reaction jumps. So that's what we're after, and we're gonna open these things up and see what's inside. All right, so on the inside, it's coming with a QR code that's gonna help us download their app so that we can look at our numbers on the app and measure them over time. Got a nice little travel bag so that we can bring it to camps, and it's actually a lot smaller than I thought it would be, which makes me pretty happy because it means I can travel with it easy. You can carry this to the gym. It's super lightweight. This might be 1 to 2 pounds, and it looks like there's a reader right here, and then I think from the online videos, it has got this face here. So essentially, the lasers are gonna point at each other, and when you jump, it's gonna measure how much time you spent in the air and then give you your vertical jump numbers and how long you're spending on the ground. Because if you know anything about vertical jump, we wanna produce maximal force in the smallest amount of time. That's gonna give us the power to get high. All right, we're opening the app on the QR code. So this is the OVR Connect app. Let's open it up for the first time. All right, we're gonna let it connect to our Bluetooth devices, and then we're gonna get started. Units. We're gonna go pounds and inches. And lifter experience, I'm gonna put advanced. I have advanced experienced. All right, so it's asking for my height. So it's giving us some metrics, or asking for some metrics. And Mark is 6'2½"-ish. So I'll say 6'3". I weigh 195. Add sports. I'm gonna go with volleyball, position. I used to be an outside setter, outside hitter. And I'm also gonna add tennis for myself since I play some tennis. All right. So this is a pretty cool part of the app. So it looks like, this is trying to connect. So before we get started, okay, it looks like it is trying to add our different presses. So these are all pretty power presses, and how fast you move the bar is important in these, especially when you're trying to play a sport. So they have, for the different speed of the bar, you can add your front squat, you can add your deadlift, power clean, shoulder press, TB deadlift, back squat, bench press, and reverse lunge. So it'll probably, once you connect to the OVR Velocity, that's where we would use that. But since we're using the OVR Jump, we're gonna take a look at our vertical jump height. All right, user manual first. All right, we got Tomer here helping us out, and we're gonna set up and we're gonna measure our verticals. And it looks like the on button is on the side right here. We've got this little on switch, so we're gonna turn that one on. And then we also need the other one so that it shows us the lasers.
Begin laser.
So it's telling us that we need to place these at least 4 feet apart. All right, so we're gonna place them 4 feet apart with the lasers facing each other. And we're gonna do that outside, since every time I jump, my head hits the ceiling. It's dangerous. So we're gonna make sure that we've got no roof out there. So we just went into the app, and all we had to do once these were on is hit the little link button at the top of the app, and it looks like that has connected us. Now, it's asking us to test our jump. Ha! It works. All right, so on my warm-up jump there, just testing it, I got 17.8 inches of vertical jump. We got 2 sets and you can tether them together, so we're gonna show that later in the video. But what they say is the least accurate is actually standing like this. They wanna make sure at least 1 foot is in front of that laser when you're jumping, and you can go and you can get your max jump. So without pressing any buttons, I'm gonna jump again. I'm gonna see what it gives me. I jumped 3 inches higher. Let's see if I can cheat it. I'm gonna try to cheat it. I'm gonna try to keep myself tucked and see if it measures higher. Yeah. So one thing about measuring your vertical with a laser tester is it's measuring the time off of extension until you come back down to the ground. And since it's using lasers, if you kind of cheat it and you hang your knees a little bit higher in the ground instead of leaving your legs straight, don't land on straight legs, but make sure that when you do come down, you are extended, and it's gonna measure that time. So you can cheat laser operated systems by keeping that tuck, but we're gonna not do that. We're gonna be honest today. So here's a few of the features that it's showing me just on this home screen without even doing the research in the manual. But on the home screen of the app, it's showing me my best jump at the top, okay, which we know I already faked that. Then it's showing you how much time you're resting in between. And that's important for when you're actually doing training programs, because a big part of your vertical jump is actually just your intent. Are you trying to jump as high as you can? And then in order to keep those numbers high, you need a certain amount of rest. If you don't rest enough in between jumps, you're gonna continue to jump lower and lower and lower, okay? So if you're measuring absolute max jump, then you need long rest intervals, call it like 2.5 minutes. For a single jump, you're really not gonna burn that much, so you can go as low as 1 minute rest, but you wanna make sure that you're coming back fresh when you're doing it. Or if you're in a workout program like our 60-day max, then you're gonna make sure that you measure these jumps after or during that lifting session. And then the next time you do that workout, do the exact same thing so that you can see where you're at. If your vertical jump goes lower over time, that's a natural part of fatigue, but if it keeps dropping or staying the same, something's wrong with your training program. Either you're working too hard, you're not resting enough, or you're not doing the right things, because this will show you all of the power production that you're doing with a max vertical jump. All right, so we haven't warmed up, so, you know, don't look at these verticals like there are true numbers. They're at least double, but we've got a bunch of our pro volleyball players and former pros who are gonna just come along and test out the device. Let's see who gets the highest non-warm vertical jump. Let's go, baby, let's go. Ooh. 20.8 inches. Let's go, Brandon.
We gotta get more than 20 inches.
Here we go. Gotta beat Marine. Ooh. 24.8. Here we go. Oh, 24.3.
Come on, Mark. Okay, 26.
Yeah. So one cool feature that they added was the ability to record your jump as you're testing, and then you can actually get a look at your jump efficiency. And that's a big part of what we actually coach with Better at Beach and our volleyball players, is the jump technique that they're using. So it's really nice that you can save the videos and it shows how high you jumped. And I think it's cool to actually send it to friends to show them a new max vertical. 20.4 with a big pike. 24.7. 23.1. So the next thing that we can test with the OVR Jump is the reactive strength index. What is the reactive strength index? Like we said, it is how much force you can produce and how quickly you can produce it, which is massively important for athletes. Essentially, this number takes your jump height in meters and divides that by the seconds that you spent on the ground, or the time that you spent on the ground. So if you jump to the same height over and over, but you actually spend less time on the ground, you're more explosive. If you spend more time or the same amount of time on the ground, okay, but you also increase your height, then that will also increase your reactive strength index. So we're looking to maximize that. So if your reactive strength index is 1.8 or higher, they consider it excellent. Obviously, if you're an elite or trained volleyball player, the higher you can get that number, in other words, with higher jumps and less ground contact time, you're going to be performing at an optimal level the higher that reactive strength index becomes. So the way that they showed it on the instructional videos is with 5 jumps, staying inside the lasers, and you're trying to get off the ground and jump as high as you possibly can, each time as fast as possible. So we'll take a look at us. All right, the next thing we can measure is ground contact time. So again, when we talked about RSI, we talked about getting off the ground as fast as possible. And one easy way to measure how fast you can get off the ground and see if those numbers are improving is by using the same height of box and then landing on the ground and then jumping away from it as fast as you possibly can. So all you gotta do is land your feet in between the lasers and then jump out as quickly as you can. And there's a number of things that you can do here. You can measure one-legged, you can measure your right versus your left to see if you've got a very big imbalance in your left versus your right. But for this video, we are going to show you how to do it with 2 feet. We're just gonna land from a box jump and get out of there as fast as we possibly can. Let's take a look. Oh, I beat you for sure. Okay, so we're gonna try it off of 1 foot, and I'm gonna try to move as fast as I can again. And if it's measuring right, I should probably actually be slower off of 1 foot using the same drill, because I'm using a drop jump into a broad jump. And if I've got less power in a single leg than I do in 2, theoretically, it should show more time on the ground. So here we go. So since we're only measuring ground contact time and how fast you can get off the ground, if we do a drop jump into a broad jump with 2 legs, we've got more power available for us and more speed, so we can get off the ground faster. Once we cut ourselves to using unilateral or 1 leg, there's obviously less strength, so it takes us a little bit longer to absorb that force and then produce it again. So these are numbers that you can use in drills that you can change. You can change it from touching the same height on a vertical jump. You can change it so that you can broad jump to the same distance, or you can broad jump to the same distance using single legs. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use ground contact time in order to show you how fast you're producing that force and able to get off the ground and out of the zone. So on this one, since we're still on the ground contact time and we're volleyball players, we're gonna try to take an approach and we're gonna see how fast we can get off of our last 2 steps. And all we have to do is jump to our 18-inch box there. So when you're doing an approach, you can increase your speed, increase your ground contact time, or decrease your ground contact time so that you're getting off of the ground faster, so that we can train that part of your vertical jump. Because a great vertical jump has how much force can you produce, which has to do a lot with strength, and then how fast can you produce it, and that has to do with our speed and reactivity. So we're gonna take approach jumps, hopping into the laser, and then getting off of those last 2 feet onto an 18-inch box. So one of the cool aspects is that it does have the app where you can measure and you can record all of your history and get a look at it. But even if you don't have that, it's still got the readout on the LED display here so that you can just keep tracking your jumps. And if you're going for workouts, or if you're going even with dumbbell jumps, right, you can see how fast you can get off the ground without needing to report back to your phone. So I think the phone or the iPad tablet app is convenient if you're tracking long term, but you also don't need it because you're getting those individual readouts right here from the LED. So I really like that. Okay, so one good way to add inches to your vertical jump, obviously jumping and doing it with body weight, but you can also train yourself to produce a little bit more force by adding some extra weight on the outsides. You can do this with a weight vest, or you can do it by holding dumbbells. And again, we're gonna try to produce the maximal height in the shortest amount of time. So we're gonna go and use that regular reactive strength index mode, but this time we're gonna be able to test it with some extra weights. Now, if you decide to use 10, 15, 20 pound dumbbells, you want to keep that weight over a certain period of time and see if you can add vertical jump while cutting your time, the time that you spend on the ground. So trying to keep a very high, above 2 or maybe 1.8 number on the reactive strength index score. We're gonna see if we can jump and without using weights, get ourselves above a 1.8. And then we're gonna see if we can keep that same score with adding weight. Okay, OVR Jump was nice enough to send us 2 units because I was explaining to them how we sometimes have large groups at our camps and we want to be able to have a bigger field of vision. So we use the tether option, and we have linked 2 of the OVR devices. And what that does is it just creates a little bit of a wider field, so we don't have to be as careful with where we're jumping and landing, and so that we can get just faster, quicker reads. Now, you don't really need this because a 4-foot field is pretty decent, but if you want some width and you don't want to be as nervous about where you're jumping and where you're landing, then you can tie 2 of them together like we did here, and we're just going to get those same readouts. For the OVR Jump, I actually love it. I think having the numbers guide your training so you know exactly how high you're jumping and how fast you're reacting is incredibly important for you to develop that athleticism for vertical jump, for speed, for sprinting. They also have a couple other devices that I haven't tried yet. One of them will actually tie to your barbells for getting bar speed when you're using strength moves. And they also have some sprint calculators where you can measure agility and sprint time. I like it. I'm gonna keep using it. All of our campers are going to start using it when we go to camps. And if you want to check it out, we have a link underneath. It is an affiliate link. It helps support this channel. So if you are looking for a device that will help increase your training, give you some good stats so that you actually know how high you're jumping, and if you're improving over time, head to OVR Jump, get yourself in OVR Jump, and if you can, give it a click in our description below, and that's how you get to the site, and you'll get $25 off with Better at Beach as your coupon. So I hope you guys liked the video. We like training with it, and happy jumping.